Hello BookTube. Today for Tag Tuesday, I will be doing the Choose Wisely book tag. This tag was created by Reading This Life, and she herself was inspired by a video by BookJack. I'll leave links to both channels in the show notes down below. So the idea of this tag is to list 3 books that destroyed you or emotionally impacted you, and 3 books that you that were restorative in some way. I'm not entirely sure my choices really work, but I'll go with them. I had thought about going a bit rogue and picking 3 books that were not wise of me to have bought, but I might do that in a different video at some point. Maybe in an unhaul video, because that's largely where those books should be going. But anyway, let's get to the 3 books that emotionally impacted me, if not destroyed me. So these 3 are all manga. The first one is Volume 4 of Toilet-Bound Hanako-kun by AidaIro. So Toilet-Bound Hanako-kun is a Japanese manga series, or Japanese comic books. Anyway, it's set in a school in Japan that is incredibly haunted. A student there named Nene is told that if she goes to a specific toilet stall and performs a set ritual, she will be able to summon the spirit known as the Toilet-Bound Hanako-san. Nene goes to and be granted a wish. Nene goes to the stall, she performs the ritual, and she summons Hanako-san. However, unlike the traditional Hanako-san, which is the ghost of a young woman, this particular Hanako-san is the ghost of a young man or young boy named Amane. And because of the Japanese honorific system, this particular Hanako-san should more appropriately be called Hanako-kun, hence Toilet-Bound Hanako-kun. Anyway, so Nene makes her wish, Amane grants it, it goes horrifically, and Amane gets her out of it in exchange for Nene agreeing to help him in exchange for becoming his assistant. Initially, this involved menial tasks, but gradually Nene joined Mane in his duties regulating the relationships between the supernaturals at the school and the living at the school. There are 7 school mysteries, 7 major hauntings, and a number of minor ones. And of the 7, Amane is the 7th, has a regulatory authority over the other 6. Joining Nene and Amane is Ko, a young trainee exorcist. This character here is Amane. This character here is Ko. And Ko initially tries to exorcise Amane, but later becomes friends with him and Nene. Volume 4 of Toilet-Bound Hanako-kun introduces a young ghost named Mitsuba, who was a classmate of Ko's from the previous year, who tragically died. So over the course of a number of days, Ko and Mitsuba become friends. And perhaps something more. However, there is a force at the school who is manipulating the rumors, the stories told about the various hauntings, making them more malevolent, more malicious. One of these ghosts, or this ghost is revealed to be the ghost of Amane's twin brother, Tsukasa, who, because of his actions in this particular storyline, is why I call him a little shit. Tsukasa manipulates Mitsuba, and turns him into a monster, which forces Amane to destroy that particular version of Mitsuba. And this storyline, these chapters, it is just so watching this budding friendship be so ruthlessly destroyed, it was emotionally devastating when I read it last year, and it's still affecting me today. And it's one of a number of impactful moments in Taliban Hanako-kun. I'm also going to go with volume 30 of Fairy Tail by Hiro Mashima. Fairy Tail is an adventure manga series about a guild of wizards, namely a team of wizards that features Natsu Dragneel, a fire dragon slayer. He is the young man on the cover riding a dragon. So basically, Fairy Tail focuses on a core group of wizards, of Fairy Tail wizards. Fairy Tail is a wizarding guild that is infamous for the quirkiness and destructiveness of its wizards. So the core group of characters are Natsu Dragneel, Lucy Heartfilia, Happy, an anthropomorphic cat who comes from a species called the Exceed, Grateful Buster, Urza Scarlet, and later Wendy Marvell. So, Volume 30 of Fairy Tail sees the ending of the Sirius Island arc, to this point the longest arc in the series. It took most of the 20s. This arc also introduces the two main antagonists of Fairy Tail going forward, Zeref and Acnologia. Acnologia is the dragon on the cover. So, Sirius Island started as a promotion arc. Every few months, the guild master, Makarov, will select members of Fairy Tail for promotion to a higher rank. And a number of characters, both core and supporting, are picked or join in as aides. And during this particular trial, they discover that Zeref is on the island, and Zeref is being pursued by a dark guild called Grimoire Heart. So they invade the island. So it turns into a guild war on the island. And this guild war ends up attracting the attention of Acnologia, an incredibly powerful dragon. And so once Grimoire Heart has been defeated, one thinks that it's over. And then Acnologia shows up, and the fight between him and Fairy Tail and what happens afterwards is it destroyed me. Every time I read it, it destroys me, and the aftermath, it's brutal. And there are a number of similar impactful moments in Fairy Tail. There's Ultir's redemption. There's the aftermath of the Tartarus arc. There's a number of moments in the final arc. So but I went with this one because this one was the first. And as I was thinking of it when I was doing this, prepping for the tag, I started to tear up again. And the third one I'm going to pick is also by Hiro Mashima. It's volume 19 of Eden Zero. So Eden Zero is a science fantasy manga series that features a young man named Ashiki who was raised on a planet of androids, who one day meets a young woman named Rebecca and her Exceed companion Happy, and they leave the planet after the androids seem to malfunction and try to kill Rebecca and Happy. And so they go on adventures. They aspire to find the great cosmic goddess Mother and gradually build a crew on the ship Eden Zero. Eden Zero Volume 19 is the end of the Aoi War arc, where the crew of the Eden Zero has joined up with a faction of rebels in the Aoi cosmos to fight against the ruthless emperor known as Poseidon Nero. Nero's adopted son, Poseidon Shura, has been given the authority to exterminate the androids within the Aoi cosmos, because at the moment of this series, in the series, one of the main antagonists, Ziggy, Shiki's adoptive grandfather, has basically launched an all android agenda. So the arc ends up basically looking like Shiki's won. He's defeated Shura when it's revealed that Poseidon Nero anticipated his son's betrayal and is sending several thousand, tens of thousands of missiles directly at the planet that Shura is currently on. And basically, the only way to escape the planet is through a sacrifice, and that sacrifice is just devastating. Absolutely devastating. And I was reading that chapter and I was tearing up, absolutely tearing up. It was just a heart-wrenching, gut-punching moment. So now, 3 books that, guess you could say, restored me. And for these 3, I'm picking them largely because they saved me from not quite reading slumps, well, maybe reading slumps, but just really bad moments, either reading-wise or in life. First, I'm going to go with Vanguard by Martha S. Jones. This is a history about how African American women, it's really a history of African American women, largely centering on voting rights and also political power. So the book starts in the 1820s and carries on through the next century, and it focuses how African American women earned the right to and won the right and fought for the right to preach, to wield influence, to sort of argue for voting rights and political rights and political representation. And it was an amazing read. I really enjoyed it, and it rather saved the later part of February. Next is Big Wonderful Thing by Stephen Harrigan. This is a history of Texas. This is history as it should be written. And as I've said several times, it really saved my 2020. 2020 started off on a really rotten note. It saw the beginning or the cementing of my whatever exactly happened between me and science fiction and fantasy. Big Wonderful Thing really showed me, hey, maybe I should focus more on history, and I did, and it was wonderful. And I'm going to go with, for my third book, Weavers, Scribes, and Kings by Amanda H. Podany. This is a history of the Near East that centers on the usage of cuneiform as a written language. And I love this book. It was amazing. And it really was one of the highlights of my reading late in 2022. So that was the Choose Wisely tag. If you would like to do this tag, consider yourselves tagged. I will be back tomorrow with maybe a discussion video, maybe some other kind of video. I'm not entirely sure, but this is all I got for today. So until I see you next time, thank you, BookTube. Have a great afternoon and stay safe.